There is a particular kind of mental state that many people experience but struggle to explain. It is the feeling that the mind never fully turns off. Even when the day ends, even when the environment becomes quiet, thoughts continue moving through the mind. Part 56 is about the psychology behind why some people feel like their mind never truly rests. At first, this may seem like a normal part of life. After all, everyone thinks. Everyone reflects on events, conversations, decisions, and plans. But for some individuals, thinking never really slows down. Even during moments that are supposed to be relaxing, the mind continues analyzing situations, replaying conversations, imagining possibilities, and questioning outcomes. It becomes a constant internal activity that rarely pauses. This experience can appear in many forms. Sometimes it happens at night when you are trying to sleep. Your body is tired, but your thoughts remain active. Your mind begins replaying conversations from earlier in the day. You start thinking about decisions you made or things you could have said differently. Then the mind moves forward into the future, imagining possibilities that have not even happened yet. Before you realize it, hours have passed while your thoughts continue moving from one idea to another. This pattern can make people feel frustrated with their own mind. They may wonder why it is so difficult to simply relax and stop thinking. But the answer often lies in how the brain processes information and emotional experiences. The human mind is designed to analyze the environment constantly. It evolved to notice patterns, detect potential problems, and anticipate outcomes before they occur. In many situations, this ability is extremely useful. It allows people to plan ahead, solve problems, and make better decisions. But when the brain becomes too accustomed to constant analysis, the thinking process continues even when there is no immediate problem to solve. Part 56 explores the role of awareness in this experience. People whose minds rarely rest are often highly observant individuals. They notice details in conversations that others overlook. They remember subtle emotional signals from interactions with people. They reflect on meaning, motivations, and consequences more deeply than most. This heightened awareness allows them to understand situations with greater depth, but it also means their brain receives more information to process. When the day ends, the mind begins reviewing everything it absorbed throughout the day. Another factor behind a restless mind is emotional processing. When someone experiences strong emotions, the brain often revisits those experiences repeatedly in order to understand them. It tries to organize what happened and determine what it means. If a conversation felt confusing or unresolved, the mind continues replaying it in search of clarity. If a situation created uncertainty, the brain begins imagining different outcomes in order to prepare for future possibilities. This process is not necessarily harmful. In many cases, it is the mind's way of learning and adapting. But when emotional processing becomes constant, the mind can struggle to reach a calm state. Part 56 also examines the role of responsibility and self-awareness. People who think deeply often feel responsible for the consequences of their decisions. They care about how their actions affect others. They think carefully about the impact of their choices. This awareness creates a sense of responsibility that encourages reflection. Before making decisions, they analyze different outcomes. After events happen, they evaluate whether they handled the situation well. While this habit can lead to thoughtful behavior, it also means the mind remains active long after situations have ended. Another reason some minds never seem to rest is curiosity. Curiosity is a powerful psychological force. It drives people to ask questions about the world, about other people, and about themselves. Curious minds rarely accept simple explanations. They want to understand how things work, why events happen, and what deeper patterns exist beneath everyday experiences. This type of thinking often leads to creativity, insight, and intellectual growth. But curiosity also keeps the mind engaged with ideas continuously. Even during quiet moments, new questions appear that invite further exploration. Part 56 reveals a paradox about restless minds. Many people believe constant thinking is a weakness or a problem that must be eliminated. But in reality, a mind that refuses to rest is often a mind that is deeply engaged with life. It is a mind that observes, questions, reflects, and searches for meaning. These qualities are closely connected to creativity, emotional intelligence, and self-awareness. However, without balance, constant thinking can become exhausting. The brain was not designed to remain in analytical mode at every moment. Just as muscles require recovery after physical activity, the mind requires periods of mental quiet in order to function effectively. When rest does not occur, the nervous system remains in a state of alertness that slowly drains energy. Part 56 moves toward an important realization. The goal is not to eliminate thinking entirely. That would be impossible and unnecessary. Instead, the goal is to allow the mind moments where it does not need to analyze everything. Moments where awareness can exist without constant interpretation. Activities such as walking, listening to music, observing nature, or focusing on simple sensory experiences can gradually shift the brain into a calmer state. These experiences give the mind permission to pause its constant search for meaning and simply exist in the present moment. Over time, these pauses become essential for maintaining mental clarity. If your mind never truly rests, it does not necessarily mean something is wrong with you. It may simply mean your mind is highly active, curious, and aware. But even the most active minds require space to recover. And when the mind finally finds moments of rest, it returns to its natural curiosity with greater clarity, deeper insight, and a renewed ability to understand the world around it.